Pow! Hey team, how's it going? Ben here, giving you a quick review of the Seafrogs, also known as Mekon, water housing for the X-T3, which I'm using to shoot on just there. Coming to you live today from the cozy comforts of my van. Don't actually live in here, but it is a really nice treat to have to set up the camera and stuff like that besides the sea, so yeah, pretty stoked on it. Right, so I know a lot of people have got into my DMs and stuff on Instagram, sorry about that, and asked about what housing I use, what kit I use in the water to shoot with, both for surfing and kind of in water portraits and stuff like that. And I know there's a lot of really expensive water housings out there as well, but I don't use them. I use this, which is, as I said, the Seafrogs Mekon water housing for the X-T3. It's really good. ABS plastic, 40 meters waterproof, which is more than a lot of the surf housings out there. Obviously probably similar to kind of some of the dive housings. As standard, it doesn't come with a handle or anything like that. It's got interchangeable port, which is great, and I'll go into the dome port in another video. This one we're just talking about the flat port that it comes with the standard, the FP1. It's really easy to put together, and I've got a whole another video on setting it up, which I can link to somewhere around here, perhaps somewhere around there, I don't know. There'll be a link, if not a link in the description. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you my basic thoughts on it. It's one of those things when I first got it, I was like, oh, it's quite plasticky. I don't know if it's going to feel as sturdy as some of the ones that feel like they've got the rubber on the outside, or the ones that are metal construction. But to be fair, I've had one of these for my X-T1 as well before I got this, and that was a great, real workhorse. Did a whole summer shooting for a surf school with it, and it was absolutely fine, never had any problems. I think the key is just to make sure that you look after your housings when you have it. I always make sure that I rinse it in fresh water after every use, check seals for hairs. I've got dogs at home, so I've especially got to be careful for the long hairs of the German Shepherd getting in there, because if you do, then you can get water leaks through the seal on the housing. But yeah, let's just have a quick little look into this, and I'll sort of talk through what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then kind of give you an overall feel for whether you think it's the right thing for you or not. I'll say at this point as well, I reached out to Seafrogs to see if I could get a little discount code for anyone, and they've been kind enough to give me a 5% off code, and there is a 5% off link in the description below if you want to get your own after this review. No pressure. I do get a little kickback from them, which is great and really helps support me, so thanks so much if you choose to buy and use that code, which is Ben Battelle, so just my name. Really nice and easy. Right, let's kick off. So, top of the housing, you've got access to all the controls here, which is really easy. You've got your shutter button here, so when you're in the water, just have to sort of grab it with your hand, shutter away. On-off switch here, this is for the X-T3. Again, nice and easy. I use it year round, so with and without gloves, and I haven't had a problem using gloves on this housing at all. And then you've got your shutter speed here, and function controls. And get onto the back of the housing. See, I've got my name here, this side, so that if I'm in the water and people want to see their photos and I want to get them to be able to see them again when they're out of the water, that's where I write my name, so everyone knows. Go check me out on Instagram, is what I say, but you know, don't have to, totally up to you. Yeah, so all the features on the back are actually really good. Access, the good thing about these housings, you get a lot more features as standard and access to them than you do on many of the other housings. I think even more than some of the top packages on some of the other housings. So you've got all the buttons you need here for the Fuji. You don't have any access to the scroll wheels on the front or the back of the housing, but you do have access to, like, you can change your view settings here. You've got access to the keypad, joystick, Q button, display, menu, and then you've got access obviously to the two buttons here to look back at your photos and delete photos, although I never delete photos in the water because I find you never really know what you've got until you get back in the studio, looking at them on the computer on a big screen, because there's some that may not look like gems in the water, but actually you get them back and they are fully sick. So yeah, always worth saving those photos, I reckon. Right, what's next? You've got the clips, which are nice and strong, although I will say this little, after a lot of use, there used to be, as you can probably see here, just a little bit of spring to keep that button sliding across, which has rusted away, but hasn't really affected the use of the housing, so I wouldn't say that's a particular negative, and you can replace these quite easily. So you get 2 clips, front and back, which you press the red tab, flick up, and they keep the sides nice and tight. And then on the other side, you've got this big black tab with another red safety, which has been absolutely fine, and that still works. And then you open it up, and it's nice and tight, nice and sealed. You've got 2 seals, so 1 on each side, which are the white lines you can see here and here. All the controls access through these little tabs and bumps and gizmos on the inside, which is really good. Keeps it really nice and easy. Viewfinder through here, which I don't tend to use. I always tend to shoot through the LCD screen, which I just find a bit easier when you're in the water because you're bumping around so much. I think if you were standing in shallow water and you're in a pool or something like that, then actually you might want to use the viewfinder. But normally when I'm in the out back in the sea, it's all a bit bumpy, and having the ability to use the LCD makes it a lot easier. So I would recommend that personally, but that's just me. So what else? You've also got, let me just go down here, these little inserts, and these work with certain lenses. So this one is for the Fuji 18-55, the classic kit lens, and it works really well, and it just gives you the zoom functionality in the water. So you insert that in here, and then using this little twisty one at the side, you operate that, and as you can see, it moves the ring, which then gives you the function of zoom in and out whilst you're in the sea, which is actually epic, because often that's my kind of go-to lens, the 18-55, and I think it's a good one to have because you never quite know what you're going to be encountering when you go into the water. So you might want to shoot wide, especially if you're shooting some barrels or something like that. You want to get that really big perspective, or you might want to start shooting a little bit closer, so you can go right into 55 and you're shooting about equivalent 80, which is epic. You've got the shoe housing at the top here, which you might have noticed. I've got GoPro mount attached here. That was for my last video, so I had that facing back at me whilst I was doing it, which was really nice. But I think you'll find, overall, I would say, as an entry-level housing, this is epic. It's got all the functions you need. It gets you in the water, and it really does do a pretty sterling job. Like, the glass is epic. It's actual, real glass, easy to clean. Just a bit of glass cleaner on there is what I tend to use. And I haven't really had any issues with clarity or anything like that. It's been really nice and clean, like super clean shots. I'll put some up so you can see them in this video. But I think, yeah, as I said, it's a lot cheaper. That's the main thing. It's like, I think it's 450 quid, something like that. I'll have to check. I'll probably got it wrong. So real price, flash up here. A lot cheaper than the other mainstream housing. So if you're just thinking about something you want to use to test out whether you're actually into water photography, or if you're not doing it all the time and you just want to have it in your arsenal, then I think this is probably the one to go for. It does have interchangeable ports, so you can put a dome port on here, which is great. I have got the dome port, and it is good. It is a bit fiddly changing it, and there's a couple of screws that you have to undo that I think might screw into plastic, so I don't really like changing it too often, which is why I haven't taken it off and on for this tutorial. But that doesn't mean that it's not usable, and I have taken some epic split shots with it, so I'd 100% recommend getting the dome if you want to do those split style shots. But I'll go into how to do split shots at a later date. What else is there? Not too much really. I think, yeah, if you're keen to get into shooting in the water, it's a really good place to start. It feels a lot more solid than using one of those bags, which I think, to me, absolutely terrifying. I would not want to put my £1,000 camera in a bag and take it in the water, especially if it was through surf. I mean, I've had this shooting in, not the exact same one, but I had one with X-T1 in France, in Hossegor, shooting there, over real heavy sandy barrels, and I've taken this Port 11. I've used it through the whole couple of winters here in North Cornwall, so it's been through the ringer, and it is still strong. There's no cracks, it feels sturdy, I think, and that's the main thing. It's not, I don't really feel like it's going to break. I don't get worried when I swim out, like, oh my god, is it going to fill with water? Obviously I don't drop it, and I think if you did, I'd be a little bit worried, but I know it's ABS plastic, so it's pretty strong as well. Hello again. One thing I forgot to mention in the review earlier when I was recording on my Fujifilm was that I always use a tray handle. on the camera housing, just because although the grip on the right hand side is okay, I think what you really need is a grip on the left as well, and it doesn't come with that. It's quite cheap, it's like $25, $30, something like that, but well worth having either a single tray handle or a double tray handle, because this one doesn't come with a pistol grip and there is no option for attaching one. I know that the Salted line, which is the sort of surf specific ones for the Sony cameras, do have a handle, and I think that would be awesome. I haven't actually had the chance to try one out. I don't have a Sony, so I am stuck without the trigger handle, which is one thing that I would really like, and I know that other housings do support the trigger handles. So if you're absolutely desperate for a trigger handle and you're a Sony user, then you can get Salted line ones. If you're a Fuji user, then if you've got an X-T3, you can get a trigger handle. If you've got the X-T3 like me, then you're stuck with using one of the side tray handles, which, to be honest, I haven't felt has held me back at all, so you should be absolutely fine. Anyway, back to the video. Boom! I'd say, overall, good place to start. Check out online, read the description. Don't forget to use Ben Battelle code for 5% off. Any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Awesome, I think that's probably about it for the day, gang, so cheers. Camera housing, get in the water and go shoot. Till next time, bye.